Welcome to the lecture series on computer science with Python. This is the first lecture in chapter 1, which is Python revision tour 1, and in this lecture we are going to start with introduction. All right, so what is Python programming? Python programming is one of the most popular programming nowadays. It was developed by Guido van Rossum in 1990s, and it was released to the public in 1991. And Python can be used for web development in the server side, and it can also be used for software development. It also have many scientific applications. It can be used for scripting language, and this Python programming is very popular among the scientific communities. It is used for research purpose, and it can be used for many purposes. So this Python programming language is very good, and therefore you are learning this Python programming. Okay, and when you say any programming language, we must start from the basic, right? So the smallest individual units in any programming language is known as tokens, right? And this token is also known as lexical units. Okay, Python have the following tokens like keywords, identifiers, literals, operators, punctuators, which we are going to learn in details one by one. So here is 3 lines of code given in this example, and in these 3 lines of code we have keywords like for, we have in, we have if, we have print. These are the keywords. We also have identifiers like a1. A1 is used here. This is the identifiers. We also have literals like the values like 1, 10, 2, etc. This 0, etc. These are the literals. We have also operators. The operators like these modulus operators, which and this is uh, checking the assignment equality operators. These are the operators. We also have punctuators like colon. Colon is used to mark the for loop. Okay, this is colon, or the if statement. So we are going to learn all these things in details one by one, so let's not study in detail right now. Now let's go to the next slide. The first thing that we have to learn is keyword. A keyword is a word having special meaning, which is reserved by the programming language. For example, in our natural language like Mizo, we also have words, Mizo words, right? Like that, in this Python we have keywords like assert, lambda, def, except, global, import, return, print, yield, for, elifs, continue, not break from, or all these are the different keywords. Okay, we are going to study in details. Even though you don't know everything or anything right now, please don't worry, we are going to study one by one. And identifiers. Identifiers are the name given by the programmer or the writer of the code to variables, to objects, to classes, to function lists, dictionaries, etc. You have to remember that variable names are case sensitive. Case sensitive means small letter and capital letters are treated differently. They are not treated as the same. They are not equal. Okay, in case sensitive. And there are some important rules you have to follow while giving identifiers or names, right? So these are uh, vari variable names must be a known keyword. You cannot use a keyword as variable names, and it cannot include spaces. You cannot include spaces in variable name. For example, if you want to store the first name, you have to write it together. You cannot give space. First name. If you write like this, it will be wrong because there is space. There cannot be space. Only letters A to Z, small letter or capital letter, numbers 0 to 9, underscore. I hope you know what is underscore, right? Underscore can be used. No other special symbols like star, has, all those dollar sign, etc. cannot be used as the identifiers. And we cannot begin with numbers. Identifiers cannot begin with numbers. You have to remember this, okay? And you can begin with underscore or any letters. We also have literals or values. These literals or values have fixed and constant values. There are different types of literals in Python. The first one is string literal. Okay, the string literal may be a single line or a multi-line. And we also have numeric literals. In numeric literals, we have integers. Integers mean number without decimal points. For example, 7, 2, minus 3. All these are integers if there is no points. And in integers, integers can be written in different forms: binary number 0 and 1, decimal number 0 to 9, octal number 0 to 7, hexadecimal number 16 digits. Okay, it starts from 0 to 9 and A to F. Okay, A to F. If you find any numbers like 13, 1, 3, A, F, or something like this is known as binary number. Okay, it looks like BAF. Even though it is BAF, it is binary number. Okay, and we also have floating point number. Floating point numbers are those number having decimal points. For example, I can have 2.33, something like that. I can also express that decimal number in the form of exponential form. For example, I can say 3 e 3e, and this is 7. 3 is 7. This look like hexadecimal number, but this e in this number represent exponential form. Okay, the meaning of this is 3.0 into 10 to the power 7. Okay, this is exponential form. We also have complex numbers like a plus bz. Okay, I hope you know what is complex number. A complex number is the square root of minus 1, and that is represented as z in this Python, but in mathematics it is represented as I. Okay, then there is imaginary part and there is the real part in complex number. And we also have Boolean literals like true or false. Here you have to remember that true T capital, false F capital. We also have special literals like none and no any, none which represents nothing. And we also have operators, and we have different types of operators like arithmetic, comparison, logical, assignment, bitwise identity, and membership operators, which we are going to study one by one. And this is this is the arithmetic operator. We have plus, which is addition. We have subtraction, which is minus. We have multiplication. We have division, modulus. We have exponentiation, and we have floor division. Okay, so let me uh, explain about the normal division. For example, if you divide 9 by 2, you may be expecting the result as 4.5, but you will get only 4 because it is integer value. There is no points in integer, right? And if you divide 7 by 2 here, but you are using modulus operator, modulus, this means you are trying to find the remainder, and the remainder will be 1. When you divide 7 by 3, 3 into 2, 6, and the remainder is 7. Exponentiation means 2 to the power, let us say 10. If you want to write this in Python programming, you can simply write 2 star, 2 star, okay, 2 star star and 10. The meaning is 2 to the power 10, and it will become 1024, right? And floor division. Floor division is the division which is not available in many other programming language, and the meaning is that when you divide any number by, let us say if I divide this by okay, let us say 30 39 into 39 into divided floor division by 2, the result will be 18 point something. So let us say 18.7. Let us say this 7 will be discarded and it will be flooring down to simply 18. This is floor division. And let's talk about comparison operators now. Comparison operators are used to compare two values, whether they are equal, less than, greater than, or equal, not equal, etc. Okay, we'll not talk about this because they are simple. Let's talk about punctuators now. Punctuators are symbols used in any programming language. Some of the most commonly used punctuator in Python are brackets. This is known as square bracket, and this is normal bracket, which is known as parenthesis. This is the curly bracket, which we also known as braces, and comma, single quote, double quote, colon, many more. Okay, and now let's talk about your first lab program, which is known as and which is your first practical program. Okay, this is lab number 1, so please pay more attention. The questions say write a Python script to take input for a number and then print its multiplication value. The user can enter whatever number they want. For example, they enter 7, 7 multiplication table will be printed. If they enter 9, 9 multiplication table will be printed, right? Num is declared and the input is taken using the input function, enter the number, and it is converted into integer value. Suppose if I enter 5 here, then I is declared as 1 and simply multiplication table will be printed, and using while loop we are going to check whether the I value is less than or equal to 10. Initially I is 1, which is definitely less than 10, so it will go to the multiplication table inside and it will multiply num equal to num multiplied by 1, and num is 5, it will be multiplied by 5 into 1, which is 5. So then it will become um, it will become num, which is 5, and because of this x value, x will be printed. Because of this I is 1 currently, and because of this equal to sign, equal to will be printed, and the value num into I, 5 into 1, which is 5. Then I will be increased because of this I plus equal to 1 means I equal to I plus 1. It is same as like this, I equal to I plus 1. I is 1 and plus 1 will become 2, so I will become 2, and it will be still multiplied by 5, and then it will become 10, and this process will repeat up to 5 into 10, and then it will become 50. All right, and this is the lab number 1. Okay, even though you do not understand this while loop completely right now, we are going to study in the future in more details. Now let's talk about variables and assignments. Variables are the name given to the memory location to store some values. For example, when I declare student equal to Jacob, and one variable name inside your memory will be reserved and the value will be Jacob, and the name of that will be student, and this student variable will be pointing to that Jacob, right? And another one is age. I'm declaring age, and one space in the memory will be reserved as age, and then the value will be 16, and this age will be pointing to that one. A variable pointing to certain type can also be made pointing to another type. This means is that student is currently character, age is number, right? So we can make this student pointing to number also, which is supported in Python, and it is not supported in many other programming language, and this is known as dynamic typing. Okay, this is known as dynamic typing. We don't need to define the type of data firsthand. We can simply make it that pointing to many data types, and this is very useful. On the other hand, we have static typing. In static typing, the data type is fixed. If you declare a number variable name, it can only store numbers. If you declare a string, it can only store string. and that type of programming language is known as static typing. But in Python, we are very lucky that we have dynamic typing. All right. Now let's talk about multiple assignment. Python support multiple assignment, which is not possible in many other programming language. For example, I can say A equal to B equal to C equal to 10. The meaning of this is that the value of all A, B, C will be 10. Alright, it is also possible to assign multiple values like this: x, y, z equal to 10, 20, 30. The meaning of this is x will be assigned to 10 and y will be assigned to 20 and z will be assigned to 30. And we can implement simple input using the input function, and the output can be implemented using the print function, right? Using the input function, I'm saying what is your name, and that will be stored as name. And using the input function, I'm just asking what is your age, and that age will be converted into numbers. And using input function, I'm asking what is your marks, and that marks will be entered into float. The meaning of float, I hope you know already because I have already explained. Because if they enter 77, it will be saved as 77.00, something like that. So I can print out using a print function. My name is whatever name they enter, and print I am whatever age they enter, years old, and print I got whatever marks they enter with decimal points will be displayed. um do you have any question?